Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jason Salyer and that's Alan Kay behind the camera. And this is his Kelly Kettle. I have zero experience with a Kelly Kettle and I just wanted to do a quick review on one of these today and see what my first impressions of it are. Kind of pros and cons to the Kelly Kettle system. Takes roughly half of a canteen, I think, is what the capacity of it is. But we'll see. So I've basically got boiling water in here already, and this has been just a couple minutes, like a handful of twigs, and water is boiling in there. It's a little bit, first impressions, it's a little bit of a pain in the neck to get it lit, but once you get it going, it's immediately heating that water. I mean, super fast, and it's not smoking much, even considering how wet this kindling is that I've collected. It's all wet. Everything that I have here is wet. But once it gets going and actually burning efficiently, it's not really smoking very much. And that water is already clean to drink, basically. It would be a very good idea to not fill this pot too full because it's gonna try to boil over and put my fire out. So that's a thing that you're gonna have to be cautious about. Probably give it at least an inch or so of headspace down there.
So he has requested that I get an egg. We're going to see how that thing boils an egg. So here we go. Hello, cheeky doodles. That looks like a winner. Very nice. In my grasp, a fresh, poop-free, feather-free, unadulterated huevo.
Oh, that's good. That's a nice one right there.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess for me, the big thing has always been that, you know, you never run out of fuel for this, no matter how long you're out there. You're not going to run out of biomass, you know, pine cones, twigs. It runs on really
tiny twigs.
Yeah, really small, so you don't have to worry about splitting wood and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're not out there chopping a tree down to make this happen.
Yeah.
Go. And just for fun, maybe we'll put the stopwatch on it.
Okay.
See how long that takes.
Yeah, and this one is the Scout. It's the smallest of the models, and the pots are progressively larger depending upon which one you use. I do have the large one. It's called a base camp, but it's in another camp right now on the other end of the property.
Yeah, I would say probably the biggest downside to this thing is just how big it is. And this is the small one, right?
Yeah.
So putting that in that's a significant amount of real estate that this thing takes up as compared to one of the smaller backpacking type stoves. I mean, it is probably the fastest thing that I've ever seen to boil water. The water that's in the jacket.
Yeah.
And that was boiling in a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. From the starting of the fire, it was boiling. The whole cook system is pretty nice. It's, you know, your stove for cooking, your container for boiling, purifying water, all kind of in one. And it comes in this one package, not a small package, but it comes in one package, which is kind of cool.
It's not fuel dependent.
Nope. You don't have to bring fuel along with you. Mm-hmm. You don't have to carry that because that's a lot. Those fuel canisters, that's a significant chunk of weight.
And space.
Yeah.
They're very bulky.
Yeah. One of those bigger ones would be nearly half that, probably. So depending on how long you're planning on being out, this would be probably a better option if you're out there for a long, extended period of time, where resupply is not really an option, and you don't want to carry 50 pounds of fuel canisters. I'm all about putting safety first.
Safety first.
I don't know if you knew that about me.
Well, science first.
Science.
You know, we'll take a cut or a burn for science now and then. You know.
Huh? Yeah. I'm just gonna do one glove. You know.
Well, that's fashionable.
That's how Michael Jackson did it.
Yeah.
And we all know how cool he was.
He was cool. Yeah, this is pretty low signature though when you factor in what's going on with the smoke, and when we're finished, it's not going to look like a conventional fire would look here. You know.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, a fire that's been burned in a given area is going to look like somebody had a fire there. There'll be a circle of stones. There'll be a lot of charred material on the ground. You know.
Yeah, pretty much none of that's going to be the case with this, right?
And with this, you pick the combustion chamber up, and you have just dust and maybe a little residue of twigs. You just throw it in the creek, or you
Scatter
just
it,
flip it out in the air, and it doesn't leave much trace. You know, one thing I like about it is that inner water jacket. Mm-hmm. If it's not hissing and bubbling, then that's giving me some feedback as to the heat.
Hot, yeah.
Yeah. We don't have a way to measure temperature like a thermometer on the thing, but we know water boiling, right?
Right. Got hot now. It really seems like the most efficient, best way to operate this thing is to keep water in it, because it creates kind of gives it some mass and it maintains its heat if you've got water in the kettle.
I think that's in the instructions.
Yeah.
Always have water.
Always have water in it. It seems just not only will it not damage it, but it just seems like it works better when there's water in it. It just feeds the fuel more. Doesn't cool off as fast if there's a breeze coming or something. And then the best thing to do is just to continuously feed it tiny twigs. Just keep them coming. Just one at a time, stick them in through that bottom. Give it a little air every now and then if it needs it with these wet sticks, these wet twigs that I'm using. But just these tiny little guys. I could literally collect one branch off of a pine tree and just break it down into tiny 3-inch long twigs and just keep them going. And it seems to burn really efficiently that way. It's not hardly smoking at all. That's all steam. There's no smoke coming out of it now, even with this wet wood. But I'm just one at a time, twig. Hey. Knock that off. Trying to put the fire out. Eggs boiling.
How does that make you feel?
I feel pretty good about it. It took a lot longer than I expected. I don't know. I'm not really big into reading instructions on things. I don't do that. I like to just figure it out. And if it's not an intuitive kind of thing, then I'm pretty much not interested in it anyway. You know what I mean? If I can't just figure it out by looking at it, I don't really, and then it's too complicated for me. My simple brain, I guess. So how do I feel about the Kelly Kettle? For boiling water, it is crazy fast and uses almost no fuel. I mean, this right here would probably boil the jacket of water right there, half of a canteen cup, when I think that's pretty amazing. And really, really fast. It takes a little bit of technique, a little bit of practice, I think, to get it figured out, to make sure it burns efficiently. It's a big thing. I mean, it takes up a big amount of real estate in a backpack. In a small, like, day pack, it's gonna fill that thing up really, really fast. And that's where those, you know, small MSR type stoves with just a canister of fuel with it, they're gonna shine. But however, if you're gonna be out for a long time, an extended period of time with no chance of resupply, then this is 100% the way to go. If suddenly the shelves of Walmart are vacant of fuel, then this is a very, very viable option, and I would recommend it for that. I don't know. It took a lot longer to boil the water on top here. You got to really stoke it up. Then this thing needs to be raging in order to get that cooking on top, which I was surprised.
32 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, it took a lot longer than I expected. And I know somebody watching this video is gonna be like, oh, well, you didn't do the thing with the thing, and you should have, you know, turned it towards the east and approximately that kind of stuff. But
well, this is your first time using
Yeah.
it, and that's the reason I wanted you to be the face of this review. Is I've used that thing a lot, and I wanted to see like somebody that's never touched it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you feel?
Not reading the manual.
Yeah.
Not knowing anything really about it other than, you know, theory. I like it. I think it's a little bit slow to cook with. I think that's my opinion. It's probably a lot of it's user error. I get that. But
if you're heating water to stick into some freeze dried, super quick.
Yeah, dude. If your goal is just to boil the water, in the jacket, that thing is
The fastest thing I've ever seen.
Fast, yeah, really fast. Just a handful of twigs, just literally a handful of fistful sized twigs, and you've got that water boiling really, really quick. So that's pretty awesome. Cooking on it, a little bit slow for my patience level. But we did cook an egg. They did cook an egg, and it's kind of multitasking. You know, you're boiling water, purifying water at the same time. You can cook on top. That's kind of cool, I guess. Transporting water in it would be nice. And he said you can do that by just kind of carrying it with his handle, but sticking it in your rucksack full of water. All it has is this kind of plug, this rubbery plug that you can put in there to keep the water contained. And they do that for safety reasons, obviously, because
do some hand shots of that plugging and unplugging.
So if I plug the water in, the steam, the pressure's going to rise and it's going to pop this thing out. And that's why they don't have a screw cap on there. But that makes it not ideal for carrying water. If people weren't dummies, then I guess you could put a screw cap on that. But I don't think the company would want to risk that. Risk a pipe bomb going off. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave us a comment. Today's comment is, what's your favorite flower? So leave that in the comments. It helps with the YouTube voodoo algorithms. And we will see you on the next video. Oh no. Cooked to perfection. Only took half an hour. Woo! Hot. What? What you looking at, jive turkey?